Hello, it's Coy, and welcome to the Eclectic Cottage. I'm really glad you're here today. I've been away all week at my daughter's house in Lafayette, and I missed you guys. So I thought I would turn the camera on and show you a little bit about what I've been working on. I did take a few things with me, and I started preparing 3 new journals, and I got the signatures ready and started some of the ephemera, and it's Dia de los Muertos. So I'm doing 3 Day of the Dead journals, as that's coming up right after Halloween. And the journals, they're going to be 2 signature journals, and I know a lot of Day of the Dead journals are still very Halloweeny, still very Halloweeny. And I don't really look at it that way. I prefer to think of it as, bright colors and a festive opportunity for, I know all the sugar skulls and all that are very, bright and festive, and a lot of times it's just, real skeletons and dark and dingy. But I'm looking at the skeletons as their ancestors. They're being celebrated as people's ancestors. So that's the kind of bright, happy, journal that I'm looking to create here. And I'm using papers, a few papers from Ibette from Tu Casa de Papel. And also the other one is Sapphire Dreamscapes, I think. I also have a few things from her, and the rest are, I'll tell you as I run across them. The rest are going to be just things, from the public domain, or, freebies that people are sharing, this time of year with, with this holiday coming up soon. And again, I'm just making them, very simple with a variety of papers. A lot of the papers are just papers that I use in almost, every single journal that I make. Frida Kahlo is going to be in the journals. When I think of Day of the Dead, I think of Frida. And I happen to have, some of Ibette's pages that have her in it. So I'm going to have her sprinkled throughout my journals. Frida. The pages are just simple. If they were too long, I just folded them over. There's dictionary pages, music pages. Just the same things that I would put in most journals. But I just love the Mexican color, bright celebratory Mexican colors, and that's what I'm using as inspiration for the journals. And also, it's going to get a little bit personal here. So in addition to, the papers and the papers from the public domain, the images, I'm also going to use some personal images of my children. My son, my daughter, the team at Revolution Inc., they do extreme Halloween costumes and Halloween photo shoots around Halloween. And over the years, there's been, I've looked, and there's a lot of, photos of my son that, and I think my daughter's even in one of them, that I just feel fit the theme of this journal. And I've got the okay with them to use the photos. And I printed some of those out. And I'm going to be spending, the next hour or so cutting, these are from Anna's Wonderland, or the Casa Azul group. Public domain, just some, some images like this, but let me see. This is my son's actual art. These are things that he has created himself. I'm going to use those because they look so Mexican and happy to me. And there's going to be some more, but these are the only ones that I have right now. And then we get to the personal stuff. This is my son. This is a character that he dresses up for Halloween and now and then. It's just a, might not be a sugar skull, but it could definitely pass as an ancestor. And this is my daughter, his sister, Angie. Okay, so I'm going to use those two photos. And this, I think the photographer's name is Chris Visual. And he took these photos of my son a while back with this ancestor head. I'm going to call it an ancestor. This is the ancestor head. So I'm going to use those. And tell me what you think in comments. This is also my son looking at this ancestor. So I'm going to use these images. He's not Mexican, and, our family is not Mexican, but the images are so extreme that I just think I want to use them. And this is him. I'm going to use these for pockets. Is that an ancestor or what? That character should just be called the ancestor. I think he calls it, I don't know, some voodoo doctor or something. Okay, and then the others, these are, again, just, some other images. I like marigolds. Marigolds really speak to me when it comes to, obviously, when it comes to the Day of the Dead. And these little skeletons, I use those for Halloween, and I just think they're too cute. So I'm going to make some side tucks and pockets out of those. And if you take a look on Ibette's Etsy shop, Tu Casa de Papel, you will find a lot of things like this. Probably was not in a Day of the Dead kit, but it's one that I have on hand, and I just think that the gorgeous, beautiful flowers and the family thing, I just think would really speak to the theme here. Ibette did a new Day of the Dead kit this year, and I did not get that one, but I have some of the older ones, and those are the ones I'm using. The new kit is a little bit, it's really, really cute, but it's different. It looks different than the rest of my journal. It's like a little bit, more cartoony. But the pages are so gorgeous, and the whole tradition of some of these new, my new friends that I have met through the Casa Azul group, this is part of their deep tradition. It's not like Halloween. It's more like our Memorial Day than it is Halloween. So I think that her kit is more based on letters she wrote to her father after he passed. So I think that's, I think that the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, I think that is seeped in tradition of, communicating with your ancestors. All right, so this is some of the images that I'm going to be using from that Sapphire Dreamscape on Etsy. And again, a lot of these are just, Spanish and florals that have come from the, the Casa Azul group. And I'm going to use those. And this is a new one, Anna from Anna's Wonderland. It's also her group. The Casa Azul group is also headed by Anna. And she put in these marigolds as a freebie this past Friday. And I just am so excited about them. I want to use them not only in my Dias los Muertos journals, but also in my fall journals. They're just so gorgeous, aren't they? Pretty, pretty. Okay, so that's what I'm up to right now. I am going to spend a little time. Oh, one more thing. I just flipped through this stuff also. I don't think I did. This again is Ibette. And a lot of this is just, putting together, pages and papers and, little bits and bobs of things to make, some journaling spots. I did these at my daughter's house. I think I made 30 pieces while I was there. I put together the 6 signatures and made 30 pieces of, pockets and journaling spots for the journal. So those are the three of those. And I made these little floating pockets. And these will either be big journal cards or side tucks. 1, 2, 3. I think they fit the theme. And again, is a piñata not necessarily Day of the Dead, but it's Mexican and it's bright and it's color and cheerful. It's going in my journal. And this one I know it's like, like sweethearts and, love, but, it could also be, ancestors or, family love. And I'm going to use these pockets in there. They are cigar box tops, again, from Ibette. And I think a lot of things I have here. A lot of what I had on hand at my daughter's house was images that I had printed from Ibette, from Tu Casa de Papel. Ibette. Yeah, I bet. And I've mixed some of her little bits and bobs in with these sugar skulls, so each one of the journals is going to have this public domain sugar skull in there. And I'm going to make a little bit more ephemera. We can maybe make some of it together. But for now, I'm going to be spending my time the next hour or so cutting off the edges, because I don't know how to print borderlessly. I heard Rachel on Roxy's Creations mention something the other day about being able to print a PDF, easily print a PDF borderless, as compared to, maybe a PDF or, whatever else we're I don't know, whatever else we're using. So I need to look into that. If anybody has the answer to that, if you know right off the bat, it can save me the time, effort, energy of trying to look that up and figure it out, I would appreciate it. If you let me know in comments. Otherwise, I'm, going to try and figure it out, because I would love to be able to print on my Hewlett-Packard printer from my iPad using the mobile app. I would love to be able to print borderless prints, so I don't have to spend so much of my life cutting off the white margin. I hate white margins. I don't mind fussy cutting. I hate doing the white margin thing. It just seems so unnecessary, like such an unnecessary task. Anyway, let me go do some cutting, and I will be right back. Okay, and I am back. I do have things pretty much cut out, and the next step is going to be to back them. A lot of things that are going to just be embellishments won't get any backing at all, but anything, you need to take a look, and anything that's going to be a journal card or a pocket or something will need to be backed. And I probably should separate them. Let me show you. I'm not sure what you do. You might want to let me know in comments what you do when I am backing a journal card or something that I need to be able to write on. A lot of times I'll use, papers, papers that may have some design, but still easy to write on. I'll use those. And A lot of times I will use Amazon wrapping paper or, you know, craft paper. At the Dollar Tree, there's a roll of craft paper. I think I have 3 rolls of those in there that need to be used. But what I have handy right now today is just this cream copy paper that I have, and that's what I'm going to be using mostly. And right next to me, I had a couple pages of nice, sturdy, coffee-dyed, maybe sketchbook paper. So I'll be using that for the tags and things that I'm going to need writing space on. And where'd that go? Maybe this too. If this is only printed one side, I'm going to use that also for writing. Okay, and then for things that are going to be pockets and, you know, and things that you're not going to see the back, I usually use junk. I keep a basket next to my printer, so anything that doesn't print well, I tend to, you know, just throw into the basket. And we had a paint party last weekend at the tattoo shop, and everybody gets a little tutorial printed out, you know, so they know which color paints and, you know, how to actually sketch their drawing. And it even gives, you know, it just gives the instructions on how to create your painting. Once the paintings are done, they never take these with them. They leave them, so it's all this scrap paper, and I just usually pick them up, throw them in my bag, and bring them home, and put them next to the printer until I need them. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to add these to my folder. I keep a folder of, it's not only that, it's also I use anything that comes through the mail that's junk mail, but it's still, you know, nice paper. This is if you wanted to enroll in credit monitoring and identity protection. So I keep, you know, the junk mail also in this folder. And this is like something that did not print out well. Any of this. So, all right, so this is the paper I use for the things that you're not going to see the back. You don't need to write on it. It's going to be covered up. Because it's a junk journal, so I use all the junk. And probably need to decide in this pile what we're going to be using and what we're not, and decide if it's a journal spot and needs some writing paper on the back, or if I can just use nothing. All right, like for these things, I'm not going to back those at all. All right, so this will be the stack for not being backed. This will be the stack for, these will probably be little tiny tags or something. So these are the ones that get writing paper backs. And what could this be? Pocket, or it could be a pocket or a tag. I'm going to use it as a pocket. All right, so this will just get the junk mail on the back. And anything extra is going to go over there. Okay, this could be... All right, one of these, I'm going to use 2 of these in every journal, both colors. So I would assume these will be, they could be a tuck spot, a little tuck spot. Or I'm going to use them as journaling cards. Pocket. Side tuck. Not sure. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to go through these and get them figured out. And Chi-Chi's calling. I need to go take care of my Chi-Chi. And I'm going to put it on pause and I'll be right back. Okay, and I am back. It's the next day, but I'm back. All right. I have to tell you, let me just tell you real quickly. I was sitting here in the art room gathering this stuff up, and I had the radio on, and I'm just listening to all the the news about what's gone on this weekend in Israel, Gaza, the whole, Hamas thing is just too much. It's just too much, and it's so deeply saddening. So I turned this camera on and thought, let me just get my friends in here in this art room with me and change the subject. Good Lord. Anyway, some things have happened. Right now, I have everything backed. All the journaling cards and, all the pockets and everything are backed. And I'm going to be spending a little time doing some distressing. Okay, so they won't look just so fresh, hot off the press. All right, get them started. And, oh, I want to tell you that, a little bit has happened. A few things have happened since since yesterday. Because this, again, like I said, this is the next day. A lot of things happened, and I just didn't make it back to the art room after we put things on pause yesterday. So I did print out a few more things. Since then, I'd like to show them to you. I think we looked at most of these things yesterday, but Anna from Anna's Wonderland, her Etsy shop, I think, is Lace Boutique 1. She actually runs the Facebook group, the Casa Azul Facebook group that I'm in. I love that group so much. The girls are just so friendly, and there's always so much going on. There's, there's freebies on Friday, and there's swaps, and just so many different things that go on there. I enjoy being part of that. So I know a lot of you know Anna. You know Silvia. And, Ibette. And I'm using, they're all Latin. I don't know if they're all from Mexico. If they're all Mexican, but they're all Latin. And they're all part of that group. And they're all, have a family background where, the Day of the Dead is actually, part of their family's traditions. It's not here. It's not mine. But I've really enjoyed, the past week or so, familiarizing myself with it a little further. And you can tell, Anna, there's a couple of things. Let's see, Anna's kit. When you become part of a group, you get to know people a little bit. And I could pick these out for Anna in a heartbeat because I know that she loves all things pink. She loves things French. She loves things shabby and rosy and cutesy. And these have her written all over it. So I'm using these for journal cards. They're really cute. They're all in pinkies. I love it. And you can see, I'm calling them ancestors. Anything that's a skeleton, I'm just calling them an ancestor. Okay? A lot of the ancestors have, are playing music or dancing. And look at this. You can tell this is Anna. Let's see. This is, I don't see a date on this one. But this is old clothing magazines, probably from the early 1900s, late 1800s or early 1900s. And she's just put the pink ancestor heads on them and sprinkled some marigolds around. And Another one. How cute are they? I guess this is a family tree with the ancestor head right there. Cute. I look forward to using these. I don't know exactly how I'm going to use them. I may use them, you know, to fit inside the larger pockets as just writing paper. Or I may make some, you know, some envelopes, some giant pockets out of some of them. I already have my signature pages. If I was making another journal, I would use these for, you know, actual pages in the journal. Anyway, Lace Boutique 1, if you want to, you know, go take a look at what she has. She's got beautiful, beautiful kits, and this one just spoke to me, and because I, you know, like this and this really don't go great together, but I'm just so eclectic when I make my journals that I don't mind having a mishmash of everything all together. That's who I am. It's what I do. Hence the name, The Eclectic Cottage. I have been using the name Eclectic Koi in my art for so very long. So eclectic is my style. It just is my style. Okay, so those are the ones from Anna. And then Silvia. Some of you may know Silvia. I know some of you know. Oh, this is also Anna. This kind of goes, I want to just mention, this was the freebie from Friday. Last Friday. And you can see that the marigolds match up, you know, match into her actual Dia de los Muertos kit as well. So I like that. I like that. I could pick, you get to know people and you could just pick out their work in a heartbeat. So that's definitely Anna. And, oh, these are Anna. Those are from her kit, of course, obviously. And Silvia, for those of you that know Silvia, you probably know already that she does a lot of really gorgeous, gorgeous needlework on her journals. So these journal cards, these are, I made them all journal card size. I'm going to use them as journal cards or tucks. And you can see her, you know, her stitching and her handiwork. She makes her papers are usually just some really high quality images of her journal covers. I like that little heart. Look at that one. How beautiful is that? Silvia, if you see this, thank you for sharing these things with us. This is it's a really nice something different to put into our journals. So if you want to go visit Silvia, I think her Etsy shop is S.A. Slow Art on Etsy. Okay, and then marigolds. This is mine. Marigolds were a little bit hard for me to find. There wasn't a whole lot of marigold things out there on the, you know, in the public domain. I couldn't find things. So I made my own. I made 4 cards, I think, and 4 different cards. And I'm going to use them in each of my journals. This one says, always remember, we lived, we laughed, we loved. I think that that's appropriate. This just says, Dia de los Muertos. This one says, may the pungent scent of marigolds lead you back to us today. And I just, you know, made them appropriate with a little, you know, little calligraphy decor on them. This says still living in the lives of those left behind. All right, and you know what? I'm going to be using these, and if any of you would be interested in having, a copy of these to use, for journal cards in your own journals this year, you can pick your favorite one, or I'm going to use them all. You can pick one that's your favorite, or pick them all. If you're interested in having a copy of those, let me know in the comments. I don't know where I would put them to give you easy access, but put it in comments and I'll find a place to put them. Oh, I could put them I can put them on I know what I can do. I can put them over in the Facebook group for you, the Eclectic Cottage Facebook group. Okay, and I have one more, this other kit that is from Silvia. And again, when you get to know, each other, you get to know people. Silvia, I think, is from Argentina, but she lives in Mexico, near Mexico City. So she is definitely, going to be experiencing a little Dia de los Muertos this year, I would think, being that close to Mexico City. And Silvia is an animal lover, so I could pick these out for her in a heartbeat. During the Day of the Dead celebration, they not only celebrate their ancestors, but they celebrate their lost pets. So this is just adorable. This just speaks to me. And I printed these because there was so much white space on them. It's actually gray. The gray did not, when I printed it on white paper, it practically came out bright white, and I didn't like that, so I printed them on cream paper, for the front, and to make it for easy writing paper also. So there's that. There's a lot of, like, mariachi, ancestors dancing around. And I'm going to use these again, like the other papers. I'm going to use these for writing, for journaling spots. And cute. I didn't see a lot of foods. The foods in the Day of the Dead celebration popular foods seem to be this Day of the Dead bread. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's a bread that they put on the altar for the ancestors. And I think tamales are very popular. And then anything confections, sugar skull confections, whether they're, whether it's cookies or, the sugar, those little sugar cube things. So if any of you people that actually celebrate Dia de los Muertos, if you know of other foods and such that are often used, let me know, because inquiring minds want to know. When there's a lot to learn when you're learning about someone else's, traditions. There's a lot to learn, and I've enjoyed, delving into this a little bit this past week or so. And these, what are these called? These are papel picado, I think. The little colorful things they use during birthday parties. And I think the reasoning behind that, they use those a lot on their altars or, in their celebrations, because they look at death. And correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong about any of this, ladies, go ahead and correct me in comments. Be kind and correct me, because I'm, it's all a learning curve for me, and I'm just repeating some of the things that, the way I think I've learned them. But it's, again, they think of death a little bit differently than we do, and, they're celebrating sort of the birthday of the ancestors going into their eternal life. I think that's how I would say it. And that's why you'll see, look at this one. That's a nice big one. you know, of the papel picado. Cute. Look how stinking cute that ancestor is. Ah, cute, cute, cute. All right, Silvia, thank you for these. I love them. Anyway, those are the new ones that I added. Again, this is my son's art. It has nothing to do with the Day of the Dead, but they're printed, you know, he painted them all up to look pretty Mexican in my eyes. And they're cute, so I'm using them. And this is my son. Again, this is not a Day of the Dead celebration. This is not him talking to an actual, you know, one of his actual ancestors or anything. This was a photo shoot. I think the photographer's name was Chris Visual. And this is from several years ago. Pardon me. It's from several years ago. And to me, it just speaks to this journal, you know, the journals I'm making. So I'm putting them in there, whether I use them for tucks, for journaling cards, or what have you. There. This is my daughter, Angie. This is Joey, our brother, my son. So these journals are going to have a little bit of personal. Speaking of personal, I think I'm going to put a little clip of the wall that they just started putting up for the Dia de los Muertos. They're making an art wall with, you know, sugar skulls and, you know, different things to celebrate. And I'm hoping my little journals will go in a basket there near that wall once I get them completed. And I'm going to have to do some paintings. I mean, he's asking me for some paintings. So if I can get the journals completed, maybe I will try and do a few sugar skull paintings. Get them over there to him. Again, this is a public domain images. Again, my son's art. And this is from Ibette to Casa de Papel. I love this. Is like an actual altar with the candles and the marigolds. The marigolds are just so important in this celebration. You know, they use them like, you know, they string them like you would a lei if you were in Hawaii. They string them and use them as garland and put them everywhere, all over their, you know, their altars and their celebrations. And the pungent smell of the marigold is, in their eyes, put there to lead the ancestors back to their door. That's why I did write on that one card, may the pungent smell of the marigold lead you back to us today. For any of you that are wondering why I would write something like that. Okay, I think that's going to do it. My job now is to do a little distressing, and I think that is exactly what I'm going to do. I don't think that you have to sit here and painstakingly watch me go through this whole stack. The next video we do, we'll do a little, I'm not sure what we'll do. Whatever the next step is, whether it's adding the pockets to the journals, I have to decide if I'm going to add the pockets and such, the pockets, the flips, the tucks, the belly bands, that type thing. I often will do before I sew the signatures in. So I just have to decide if I'm going to sew the signatures in first or put the pockets in before I sew them. All right, thank you guys so much for being here with me today and getting my mind off what's going on in Israel. War stinks. It's just awful. I'm not going to say any more about it. I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you real soon. And I'm going to leave you with a quick, you know, little video of what's going on at the shop so that you can see the the not sugar skull wall, the Dia de los Muertos wall. It's just starting, so I'll show it to you again once everything is up, but this is the beginning stages of the wall. All right, have a great day. Bye.